Hello, this is Solomon. We're going to be looking at two replays from Bishop, both for team games, 2v2 on this map, and a 4v4 on Strategist. So on this map, we have, well, like the 2v2 version of Tank Graveyard, Italy and France and Soviets are all super strong combos, the best ones. So in this case, we have Italy and Italy versus France and USA. I'm trying to think about who I would say is better in this matchup. Yeah, no, it'd be France and US because both teams get heavy infantry, but then France adds AT and artillery. Cheap, good AT and cheap, good artillery. Wow. And that's really what all you need in like the first 3 minutes along your infantry. While they get like their artillery and AA base is really expensive for Italy. Then their light artillery is 15 supply, so it's 50% more. Their AT is garbage. Not that it really matters since this side's not going to build AT, but France might try. I bet the Italy team might try M15s, which they do in this game. No decryptions. Not that you really do decryption on this map. Magno. I wouldn't have bothered with Magno. I wouldn't have bothered with bunkers at all. Maybe a fortified position, but I'll just go fortified. Like you have the AT base, so fortified position to stop like the first two tanks. Then you start making AT. The Magno is super overkill. Yeah, there's like no artillery from France right now, which is a really big problem. But now they make it, thank God. Yeah, this AT base is a little bit too aggressive. Because like this composition is gonna just annihilate this composition. But the AT base is dead, so they can't build any reinforcing AT if these actually do get killed by the artillery. So there really needs to be rangers going down this, like one or two going down this way. Do some more difficult to intercept flanking. Yeah, now the artillery spam's coming out, so. And these artillery isn't split apart, and it's next to the barracks, so the barracks actually ends up dying. And now our artillery ends up dying since they're all right next to each other, which is a big no-no. Okay, flanking on this side, which is good. The US is playing fine, it's just that I mean, France is playing fine too, but they could be playing better. Like, if they hadn't lost the AT base right away, they just would have won. Assault guns come out. Which, I mean, it doesn't matter, like, just, they're not gonna win. Honestly, this is like one of those very few situations where you can maybe think about building Lorraines. Like, I mean, you should just win with light AT spam. By light, I mean like fragile AT spam, non-armored AT spam against artillery. But if somehow you weren't winning, I guess you could tech Lorraines. Like, I mean, the game shouldn't get to a point where Italy has like 10 assault guns in this map and situation. But if theoretically it did, for whatever reason, maybe you could get a Lorraine. But honestly, actually, probably still just want to get RL44s or something, or I don't know. Where the hell is all the AT? Yeah, France is. You know, honestly, actually, no, look, getting Lorraines is stupid. What should happen instead, the US can just throw down an AT base and get like 2 Wolverines or something. That'd be good. Although Mass Artillery can still kill Wolverines because they're only level 1 armor. This is happening. It really shouldn't be happening. Oh, we have AT and ambush, thank God. So yeah, an infantry screen would have stopped that from happening. So 3 depots to 5 depots. So yeah. When this comes out. I mean, starting armor isn't a bad idea as France either, if you don't think your enemy's gonna start with an AT base. I mean, there's a couple different raids you could open, like French armor, like V1 bis or soft 40s with the Rangers, or added, or just what I said, the Rangers and AT and artillery. Just don't start air on this map. Any good opponent will kill you for that. Like, you won't be able to defend against a rush by anyone competent if you start air. Yeah, the biggest issue here is that this, like, these cost 15 supply. These cost 10 supply. Like, honestly, I think maybe just spamming assault guns would have been a better idea. And at least, like, Italian assault guns are at least cheaper than other ones. They're only 20 supply for the base assault gun. And at least they're armored. I don't know, Italy should have just gone infantry. Trying to. Italy, I probably just would have said infantry AT opening. Or you can do a pro start as Italy, like a Carol P26s and Brettas with infantry. You can do that. That's good. Okay. But yeah, no, Italy lost that because of worse unit composition and inferior economy. Look at this game. Yeah, this game is boring. One of Germany's gets the rush in like the first 2 minutes, and there's a chain surrender. So this match is a little bit more interesting. Soviet, French, US versus UK, Germany, UK, Soviet. So Soviet versus UK on the flank. The UK should be dead in the first 5 minutes. Like, yeah, the UK can't really stop Soviets on the flank. And UK mid is good. So then we have Soviet mid and French mid, which is kind of, oh, what the fuck? Yeah, you don't start admins on this map ever in 4v4. That's just an awful idea. The big issue here is that one of these guys has to go air. No, and Soviets go air in this situation because you get Sturmoviks, which are good, and Guppies are like. I mean, this is a game that's, well, either someone's getting a rush and everyone's going to chain surrender, or it's going to last a little bit. And for games that get a little bit, like, you're going to be getting a lot of in-game tech, like Persians and whatnot. So you just want Sturmoviks instead of Guppies, which are garbage later. So yeah, Soviet air. French goes. Well, you could also make the argument that Soviet ground is a lot stronger in mid than French ground, since there's a lot of forests and towns that's big and open. So you can make an argument either way. You either take a worse ground or worse air. I'd still want to say Soviet air though, because U.S. can like cover this area ideally. Then IDF can cover this area ideally. Well, they should kill UK and cover this area, and France just has to focus on the mid area, and that'll be fine. So first big problem, IDF camos for some. Well, that's just it's bad. That's stupid. This is like Jesus. Yeah, he should have just rushed Bishop and killed him. Like this infantry rush across here. That's literally all you need to do to like win. If they're spamming Vickers, just make some BA11s, and BA11s kill the Vickers. If they start AT base, I mean, if they do mass AT base Vickers, I mean, you take over this forest because you're supposed to put a barracks here. Like, you still end up killing the UK just with how much infantry you have and whatnot. Now, Bishop started an airfield, which is automatically losing against any sort of infantry rush, but IDF is doing this for some reason. Also, sometimes when you're rushing UK as Soviets, you will make an artillery base, but you don't make E8. You just make an assault gun so you can kill the outpost and anti-tank bunkers. Then you just rush them with infantry after you kill that. So yeah, you can like just like if you want to see how good a team is, just check who's camoing at the beginning and see if they actually need the camo. Most of the time, it's going to be a no. Why would you cancel? It's too late to cancel. What the fuck? He might have been able to make it to the depot. I don't know. I'm not sure where the truck was. Probably not. But canceling, what it wasn't gonna change anything. Might as well try to go for the depot. Secondary. Yeah, I don't know why. That's just wrong to build a secondary base. Just kill UK. Radial silenced. There's not really any point. What the fuck? God, this is stupid. I mean, they're trying to do a 2v1 on someone, but well, first of all, you want to make soft 40s. Well, more no. First of all, neither of them went air, so that's a big whoops. But even if like one of them did go air, you want soft 40s because Spitfires are just gonna probably shape on light artillery to death, not AA to death, especially ones in open. Like what's just happening right now. Yeah, France should be like securing mid, and Soviets should be going air, or one of them should be going air, and one of them should be securing mid instead of doing whatever this is. Because on Strategist, what you want to do a lot of time is try to exploit the mid players because one's going to be air and one's probably going to be going economy, so they're not going to have a whole lot of units. So you try to put pressure on them. Magano, that's woke. You know, Bishop is spamming hurricanes, which it's not a bad thing. Personally, I'd probably just go with Spitfire spam so I can strafe out the light Spitfires and bombers and strafe out the light units to death. Since Soviets probably aren't gonna make tanks until like in game. Like they're not gonna be making KB1s or T26s or anything. Those are garbage units. So like yeah, it's just light units on the field. The only real unit is the ISU, but it's doing literally nothing. So you're not really worry about it. So I'd rather go with Spitfires spam this Spitfires and Lancasters in this situation. Like sure he's killing a depot, but can you have a bomber too? Like you have to get 5 hurricanes to do that. So it's that's 125 supply. While getting a Lancaster is 50 to tech and 30 to build, so it's 80 supply. So yeah, this guy gets bombed. Because there's no air. Oh shit, I missed this. So Angie, I guess, did radio silence infantry, but shouldn't have worked because there should be recon, especially 6 minutes in. So yeah, that happens. And I mean, there's a lot of should have things already in this game, but that should leave the UK using because it's like USAA versus UK. Oh, so this is way too many infantry. That was wasting money. Meanwhile, Germany is kind of going eco, kind of helping out here. Like, there's no reason to be spamming admins instead of taking all these depots. Like, it's just wrong. Yeah, the infantry gets bombed. At this point, Jelly surrenders, so they stop taking 1/4 of their team's money. But he's not going to do that. That's a big handicap. Yeah, there's so many ruses being wasted on camo on the this team. So like, there's no reason to camo any of this, unless you think there's bombers coming. But I mean, still they have recon play. Like, there's just no reason to camo. But finally, France decides to go air. Like, what? There just needs to be like some M9. Well, for M16 should work probably. Actually, maybe not because it's Spitfires, but just get M19s and infantry, and you'll like win. Like M19's infantry and like one Persian will kill UK. So the airfield should be like in mid. They should be right here or something, or like at least right here. Like, oh my god. Bishop is making admins, which is fine. Nice little catch on the AA, being moving. Didn't lose any hurricanes, which is nice. Your AA by itself doesn't really stop planes, like, yeah. I wish I could see the money because why is there no AA here yet? Like, holy shit. Oh, am I getting messed up? Maybe I guess. Well, I guess they don't have enough money since they have like 0 of the depots. They have AA and planes, but okay. In that situation, if you had camo, you could AA. I mean, you could use AA and just snipe out the recon plane. When I say planes don't stop air, I mean it's not going to stop a dedicated air attack in any means. But in some circumstances, where like the air attack has no recon, like then, or only has 1 recon, you can try to use AA to snipe out the recon. You know, this guy still has yet to surrender. So God knows how much money he has still or stole away from his teammates. AT base, that's a mistake. You want to go. You want to go IS3. Like, you just want this. Soviets, you just want to get IS3s if you can. They're better than SU-100s by a large margin. Good amount of like, there's so much French air power, but at any given time, like more than half of it is either going to combat, or it's either going to a location or getting back from a location. So despite having a bunch more fighters, like most of them are not useful since they're busy traveling. That's why you want your airport a lot closer instead of way back here. Like, there's so many more fighters, but like, like the enemy base is so far away, you can't actually keep up any combat. Thunderbolts is a mistake. We have S100's Guardia going on, which is a somewhat common composition. One I've used before. Like, you only use it because it's like you need SU100s right then to stop like proteins or something. Like, it's not, you don't really aim for an SU100 Guardia comp. It's just something that circumstance forces on you. Like this is okay. Yeah, this tank destroyers are garbage because like once your anti-infantry units die, like your infantry, then your tank destroyers have to run away and run from like 5 points of enemy infantry. Another bombing run. Like this gets some AA to snipe out the ants and so yeah, no, okay, like the green team should have like super lost already, but they haven't. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but like red team is just really dropping. Like they're just dropping the ball so much on so many things. And right here, like first of all, it's like double UK Germany. In Germany, there's like 0 units on like there's like barely any units on the field, so like it really shouldn't be hard to just like it's not hard to push them around and just kill them. Like these people should be dead. And basically, the green team, Bishop's team, is doing an exceptionally better job exploiting the weak air on a red team than red team is doing their job of exploiting the weak enemy ground. So also their like refusal to get AA is like what the fuck. Like you still want like AA in fighters, AA in planes is gonna defeat AA in no planes a lot of times. I mean, not like again bomber rushes of like RUSE, blitz and fanaticism. Like it's kind of but there's only like you're not gonna stop like the bomber hordes of like Diplo FFA or like super late game. But like there's only so many bombers here and so many recon planes, which is more important. So like you can stop this, and A would help a lot, mainly just for sniping down the recon plane through A. Storm Tigers, which is I don't really ever build Storm Tigers. I mean they're kind of a fun unit, but they're just too expensive. Like it's just pretty much better to get Morcers. Like it's a late game tech unit like Morcers. Morcers come generally a little bit later because Prolo base, but it's not hard to get Prolo bases Germany. Like just get Morcers, they're better. Like maybe there's some situations where you might take a Storm Tiger over a Morcer, but just take Morcers. Like this is a situation where you take Morcers. You don't need to worry about the Morcer getting strafed because you have a stronger air. Although now US is pitching in to help, but Panthers is a mistake. Dude, you should just have King Tigers. Like there's like hundreds of supply of SU100s, but they can't really push because there's the Storm Grenadiers right here. Oh, there's more shit happening over here. Yeah, they keep on taking these middle depots and they keep on getting bombed again. Like, lol. Also, 2-ear isn't really better than 1-ear with randoms a lot of the time, unless like, well, first of all, most randoms aren't actually good enough to coordinate using their air. So it's just exceptionally easy to do a divide and conquer technique because the air is not really going to be coordinated. So you just kill one of the player's air, and another player's going to like 90% of the time like not react or react way too late. So you engage with one of the players with your air force and kill them. Then you do it with the other player. So you have two like mediocre, non-effective air forces and one less ground. Like what's the term I'm looking for? It's it just doesn't like this doesn't work unless they're actually coordinating, which most of the time is a no. Like we have French, or I guess French is taking over ground now, which is a really weird transition. I mean, it's probably it's better, but it's still really awkward. Yeah, Angie still has the secondary base, so he's not out of the game. I mean, I don't know. Okay, well, all these Australian hires are getting killed by the Stormers, but I almost feel like you want to keep the US ground since US late game ground is so much better than French late game ground. Like, I want to say the US ground is more better than French ground late than US air is better than French air late. Mainly because it's a map this big, so they want to. France can't really put out a lot of pressure on different places. Plus, France, and this is a big map, and France lacks the armored AA. Now, it's just a super heavy, which doesn't count because it's going to be like forever before you actually get enough French super heavies to be effective AA, and even then, you can't spread them out everywhere. It's just going to mean you're like what your doom stacks. So yeah, Bishop is spamming admins, which again is fine. Like Germany and Pyro are basically they're doing all the work so far, and it's working. The issues coming out. Why would Regime make all, you wasted? You could have like twice as many admins if you didn't build all this AA. And I'm saying well, see, he's completely across from UK. Like he hasn't been bombed yet, so like I'm not trying to sound like I'm saying build AA and don't build AA. It's just that you gotta build less AA. Like, mm, okay, so here's the thing. Like it's kind of weird to put AA behind the base since in order to flank around, Pyro's either gonna have to go this way or this way, and he's gonna run into an air fleet either way he tries to flank. So he's gonna run into a hostile air fleet first and hostile AA too on this flank. So it's kind of redundant to put him behind since ideally Pyro shouldn't be getting somewhere behind the base. If I was Regime, I'd have some AA in front and I'd have like maybe like 4 or 5, probably more like 3 or 4 artillery bases and ZSU's research so that if I suspected these units were coming for me, I would just spam out the ZSUs and target down the recon planes. And besides that, just focus on getting admins. Because like he hasn't been bombed so far, so what if he didn't spend all this AA and instead had more admins? He'd have like twice as many admins. No whirlwinds from Germany, which is kind of weird. Be a good idea to have whirlwinds in the middle. Have another air fight. But yeah, the Anson died, so. Is he trying to bomb? Like, well, he didn't bomb any of this one. That's weird. So yeah, don't put your A right here because in the A, it's just gonna get bombed and the admins are gonna die. That's next to the A. Really weird push. Okay, so let's 10, 5, 20, that 24, 27, 29, 30. 31, 32, 33, 34. Okay, so there's like, and that's not including the dead ones, so there's like 150 dead infantry so far in terms of points. Like, just have a proto base and IS3s at this point. Like, for real. Or have like, if you want to play more defensive, have at least like advanced AT and AA, and just start spamming out heavy artillery so you can just kill all of this. And especially since it's Soviet, so they get the 15 supply recon planes, just like go defensive AT, SG-100s, AA, start spamming out heavy artillery, build like 3 airfields, and just make a blob of the Neiman recon planes and go recon to space and kill like all of blue team's admins. T-34s is obviously wrong. Decoy, there's no reason to play decoy ruse. I mean, in my opinion, there's almost no reason to play decoy ruse ever, but it's pointless in this situation too. Oh, there's another bomber run over here. Doesn't look like it actually did much though. Like the big thing here will be to kill Ingi's HQ, since then he couldn't use ruses or build more buildings. Since as far as I'm aware, this is his only HQ on the map, which is really risky. You never, like, if you're down to your secondary HQ, at least have a capital lying around. Or wait, is this? Okay, no, there's one back here, so never mind. Why is he fucking still making Panthers? I mean, there should have been super heavies like at least 15 minutes ago from both teams, but there aren't, so. Like, France should be entirely on prototype units, just EBRs, RL40s, and super heavies. That should be it. That and A should be the only things they're building. Bevels needs King Tigers and rural ones. Bishop is fun. He's been spamming damage. Now he's actually counter pushing with infantry and fireflies. Another tank destroyer infantry combo, which, like, it's something that happens. Like, it's not the like it's by far not the composition that's the greatest, because it has some really weak, like, big weaknesses. It only happens because of circumstances and the fact that it's cheaper than actually making up. Like, it's just pretty cheap because it's just heavy infantry, which is cheap, and tank destroyers. Like, it's cheap to do. That's why it happens. But like, it just falls apart if there's any sort of anti-infantry, like bombers or artillery, or the enemy team has more infantry. Wow, those Storm Tigers are just killing all this. Like the UK late game ground composition, like Doomstack, like, it's total garbage. But this is the only thing you can do as UK. It's fireflies, and the fireflies, assault guns, and armored recon. Like that's the standard UK like game Doomstack. But that's like really expensive to get. So we're just gonna do infantry, Vickers, and fireflies. Like, one bomber would just defeat this push. So many camos and radio silences. Like, it's just ruses that aren't blitz or fanaticism. The only sector that should be camoed on red team really is the admin sector. Same go, like, camo to admin sectors. That's pretty much, like, blitz and fanaticism are just so good. Oh my god, holy shit. So US used their entire air force to strafe infantry when UK captured the barracks anyway. Like, holy shit. So yeah, no, this is happening. Yeah, like, see, what the fuck? Not to say he's doing anything. I have no idea why he put it back here. Like, there was almost there's no universe where the UK air came from behind him. Like, it all needs to be like right here. At least that was a pretty bad bombing run. Like all these admins could be dead. I'm not good at bombing runs myself either, so it was good enough. And this team does have more admins now. So yeah, props to Bishop for carrying this team economically by far. So yeah, so Soviets just end up disintegrating because now the bombers come, but it's a little bit too late. Like there should have been super heavies and heavy artillery and everything, but there wasn't. Now it's just chain surrender. So yeah, pretty good performance. Yeah, Bishop really carried the team economically, and Pyro did lots of good bombing runs. And Bubble, I mean, he was not doing the best play, but it's better than his opponents, and he held the ground. So these guys, though, fucking, what the fuck you're doing? They got over 2,000 more supply. Like they weren't they weren't building AA, which like they built tons of AA in all the wrong areas, mainly regime. Guns Up and AG didn't build any AA, and they never really built ground units, like good ground units. They kept on staying on like low game tech, IDF too. Like there was no super heavies, no advanced heavies, no heavy artillery. Like I don't know what's going on there. And their air was constantly on the back foot, especially since they transitioned from French air to US air. Even though I would French air and US ground is better probably. No, yeah, it's definitely better on this map in this situation because like US ground is just so much better. The French ground because of the armored AA and super Persians and recon and everything. And basically, yeah, the Bishop's team did a lot better job exploiting the weakness of the enemy air than Red Team did exploiting the weakness of the enemy ground. Since like it was double flank UK once the US guy got rushed, or once the Soviet guy got rushed, it was double flank UK in Germany. Like that's just awful. Like awful ground potential. Like awful ground capability that shouldn't have held. But yeah, that is the end of this video.